I mean, I'm assuming mostly Buckeye fans besides Paige. You got any Michigan fans in the room? All right, so you picked out the worst. No, obviously it's going to be a fun season. I think when we look at the schedule, we look at the way things lay out. Very, very favorable. I think we're still a conference that is down in terms of from a competitive standpoint around the country to a conference like the SEC still, which for us throughout the regular season is going to be, it's going to be an advantage because we should be able to win every single, not should be able to, we should win every single game that we play. Maybe a little bit of a disadvantage when it comes to the end of the year and postseason play and a bowl game, which obviously we're all excited about, that we're now eligible to play in the Big Ten championship game, which we should be there, hopefully be playing for a national title. I mean, that is what the goal every year is: beat Michigan, win the Big Ten, win a national title. I mean, those are the three goals of Ohio State football every single season. And this season will be no different. Offensively, real quick, obviously we have a maybe, and I know it's been a long time since we've been able to hint at this or say this, maybe the best offensive line in the country. With the four guys we have coming back, the strides that they made last year, reportedly what they've done this offseason, it's going to be exciting to watch those guys play. Having played quarterback, can't share enough of the importance of what those guys up front mean to an offense and to a football team. You win football games in the trenches, both on the offensive side of the ball and on the defensive side of the ball, no matter how much he tries to tell you linebackers are the best. He'll be the first to tell you that his defensive linemen are everything to what those guys at the second level do. So on our offensive line, it'll be fun to watch those guys play, to see how they move together, work as a unit. Should be among the best offensive line units in the country. Obviously, I'm not going to spend a whole lot of time at quarterback. You know what we have. Maybe right now, the front runner for the Heisman Trophy. Undoubtedly one of, if not the most electric players in all of college football. What I'm looking forward to seeing, because Coach Tom Herman, our offensive coordinator and quarterbacks coach, has spoken quite a few times, and I've talked to him a couple times. He's been really excited to see some of the progress that Braxton's made fundamentally, throwing the football, but most importantly with his feet, with his footwork, with his feet in the pocket. Obviously his feet out of the pocket, we don't want to change. We don't want to touch that. You can't teach what he can do once he starts running. But it'll be fun to see if he's really able to take those strides he's made in drills and the mechanics and the fundamentals and the footwork and translate that to the field when this gets involved. When this has to start thinking and looking across the field, because when this isn't trained the way it needs to be, this from your leg, your waist down gets stuck, and that's where you see quarterbacks get into, their feet are here and they're trying to throw that direction. So that's going to be fun for me personally to watch the development and the strides that hopefully Braxton's taken. To me, the most exciting thing about this offense is, I don't know if y'all remember, when Urban Meyer came in, one of the first things he said, and obviously I'm sure you guys had a chance to see that Urban Meyer does not sugarcoat anything. It's refreshing, personally. It's very refreshing. The best part is he doesn't sugarcoat it to the team. He does not, I remember one of the first times I ever met him, he was speaking to a group of recruits. And he was, sharing with the recruits, and there were some former players at this event that they do every end of the summer on a Friday. They call it Friday Night Lights. And former player-wise, it was Orlando Pace, Eddie George, Sean Springs, Andy Katzenmoor. I mean, some of the best players to ever wear the scarlet and gray. And Urban standing up talking to these recruits, and he says, if you have a chance to come and play, and this was at the Shoe, play in the finest stadium in all of college football, and play for the best coaching staff, and carry on the tradition of some of the best players to ever play college football. He said, if you have that opportunity and you think for a moment that we owe you something when you get here, then you better turn around right now and walk out the north end of the stadium. There's a nice little ramp right there. And I remember all of us former players looked at each other. What kind of coach says that to recruits? That's just the way he is. He says it to recruits. He says it to his players. He says it to his coaches, to the media, to the fans. He doesn't care. For him, it's black and it's white, and he's going to tell you the way it is. And when he came in, if you guys remember, he did not like his receiving corps, to put it mildly. Day after day, week after week, he was very, very disappointed in the athletic ability, the production, the depth. Now that's not the case. If you ask him now, he will tell you that is the one unit that he is probably most excited to see on the field this year because of some of the strides that the guys that have been there have made. The Devin Smiths, the Philly Browns, the Evan Spencers, but also because some of these young guys. I am, last real quick, I cannot wait to see this Dontre Wilson guy out of Texas. You guys heard of him? He was one of the most sought after recruits. He's a guy that can play running back, he can play receiver. I hate the Percy Harvin. Everybody talks about Urban needs to find that Percy Harvin type player. Well, it's gut-wrenching to me that we have to define one of our positions by a former Florida Gator. But that's the way it is. Percy Harvin is like You guys got quite the diverse crowd. A bunch of smart people and a handful of idiots. Hey, you got a good coach. You're probably one of the only Florida Gators to say that right now. But it's going to be fun to watch this Dontre Wilson kid because by all accounts, physically, athletically, from a football intelligence standpoint, he is a game changer. And he is a guy that can complement Jordan Hall in that position with a healthy Jordan Hall. It's going to be, I can't wait to see this kid play on Saturdays. Seen him on the field a little bit this fall, and it's incredible what he can do athletically. But once he gets a couple games under his belt, a little more familiar with the offense, he has a chance to be, obviously a lot of things can happen, but I would say he has a chance to be one of the best offensive players to ever come to this university. He is that dynamic of a football player. So it'll be fun to watch him. I think this is an offense that's going to average almost 40 points a game, and which is going to obviously make it a little bit easier on our defense, which Ryan's about to talk about, some guys that we got to replace. So that's basically the offense.
Perfect segue.